The latest technology to disrupt the film industry is generative AI. Imagine typing a few words, then creating a brand new movie or television series. While the technology isn't that advanced just yet, it's evolving quickly. But do these companies have the legal right to train their AI models using other people's videos? Today's guest, attorney Richard Thompson, will help us analyze the situation. Richard, welcome to Open
Hi,
Source. How are you?
thank you. I'm good, thanks. Thanks for having me.
Look, I view this as probably the hottest issue right now in Hollywood regarding AI. Many companies like Sora are promising to build out generative video AI software. But what are the challenges surrounding the videos they use to train their models?
Well, first of all, I think that the biggest challenges are ones that have nothing to do with the legal side of it. These companies are focused mostly on how do they build their business, how do they make their technology faster, better, outdo the competition. Where's the revenue model for them? And they're focused on that much more than they're focused on the legal. And then, of course, at some point in the process, they call up the law department and say, guys, can we do this? And the law department is mostly going to tell them, well, maybe you can and maybe you can't. It's a gray area. This is new. We don't know. And so they're going to make a judgment call based on that. And it's probably going to be, as long as they think there's not an existential threat to their business, to go ahead and do it and see what happens. And so, but let's drill down a little bit on the law of it. Well, let me stop for a second before I get to that. I think that there's one other thing that's very important that they do think about, and they think about sort of the what they're ingesting and how the ethical side of that is going to affect the output, so that they don't want to have situations where the output mistakes black people for gorillas, as it famously happened a while back with the image recognition software that Google had. So that's another big consideration that they have. So on the legal side, it's we'd like to be able to ingest as much information as possible that we can just go out on the internet and grab. And can we do that? Are we
Mhm.
restricted to public domain information? Do we have to get consent from people? And if we have to get consent, how can we go about doing that?
Let me jump in for a
Um,
second here, Richard. Okay, so it's interesting. There's obviously a lot to unpack, but you touched upon something very important, right? It's like we don't have laws yet, right? Like governing this technology because it's too new, right? The technology is too nascent. So, what is that dynamic, right? Like you essentially have technology moving faster than the laws.
In a way, we do have laws, and you and I will
Mhm.
get into that as we progress in the interview. And there's a lot of things that are in the laws that exist now that are relevant and inform what the result is going to be. But still, when you go into a new area, there's a lot of gray. Even in established areas in the law, there's often a lot of gray, but it's particularly true here. The thing that has often been the answer in the world of technology is, if the law is not established, we're going to plow ahead with our business. We're going to get out there, get our technology in front of people, and perhaps by just having it so ubiquitous, by the time anybody gets around to thinking about it, they're not going to be able to stop us. And that was the history of YouTube, the history to some extent of some of the things that Facebook has done. It's an established practice in the technology business.
Well, and this is the thing. Now, do you think that this will just follow those precedents, or is this a whole other level of technology?
It's both. It is the AI is something that is potentially such a game changer, and people know so little about where it's going to be in 5 years from now, that it does present a completely different level of challenge than just a decision of, oh, I'm going to launch my music file sharing service. Oh, I'm going to let people upload whatever they want to in the way of videos that they find and deal with the consequences later. It's a different level of issue. But still, going back to what I was saying before, we have laws, we have precedents. There's a
You
lot
know
that
what,
we do
Richard?
know.
Let's get more into the legal side when we come back from break. I'm here with Richard Thompson on open source.